Okay.
All right.
Oh, welcome to Knitting Around LA. I'm Julie.
And I'm Judy. And we have a returning guest. This is Jen from Instagram's Knittingtakesballs, and also from her Etsy shop, Children of the Rice. And we love having Jen both here in on stream yard, but also in person. And of course, we can't do that right now. So we're making the best we can. And we're going to have a conversation today.
Sorry, my computer's making noises.
Okay. And actually, that's kind of what we're going to talk about too, is the unexpectedness of what this sort of pandemic has put on our plate. And we're in new territory here, both as artists, as Jen is, and crafters and knitters and makers. We have a whole wealth of new experiences. So we're going to chat about that today.
Excuse me. Thanks for having me, ladies.
Oh, so glad to have you back. Sometimes we do like a check-in, and we decided to invite guests, and you were the first name on a very short list to have somebody with us when we do a check-in, to make it more interesting than just the two of us.
Well, and I also think that today we talked backstage a little bit about what we want to cover today, and I think that a topic that is sort of a big deal nowadays is selling online. I have only had experience as a buyer, which I think maybe most people have. And Julie, I know you've done some selling online, correct?
Well, not really. I have an Etsy shop, and full disclosure, because it's 2020, and it's like there's nothing left to be embarrassed about. At least we all have clothes on, and we're not engaged in any actions that people wouldn't want to see while we're on online.
Right.
If you're doing it correctly.
Yes. So I've never sold anything in my Etsy shop, and I gather that that's actually not uncommon for Etsy shops. I also don't do a lot of promotion on it, or any, really. I mean, if I really put more time into it, maybe I could, but so that's what it's kind of what our conversation is, where our conversation is going to go.
Well, since we're talking about like social media and promotion of your own shop, why don't you share? Because this is the perfect time for that. What is your Etsy shop?
Oh, okay. So you two talk amongst yourselves. I've got to go find it so I can get it into a window. I'll be here, but I'm going to be looking away. So that's how this thing works.
One of the do nots of Etsy, not knowing your shop name.
Oh, my shop name is Julie Kornblum Studio. I thought
there you go.
I thought you meant show it, but
just have the name is good. People could go check it out, go look it up.
Yeah, it's Julie Kornblum Studio, and I was wrong about Etsy. I thought they had done a better job of their search, and no, they haven't. No, because I think that you pretty much with Etsy, you need to capture your own link and promote it by sending out the link, to people.
Jen, because your shop, I would imagine, is very popular because you're popular,
and you've been doing a lot of virtual shows and stuff.
Yeah, so. Because Julie and I have talked, and we were saying, well, you advertise on a lot of platforms. I mean, I connect with you on Instagram, but I know that what else do you use?
I actually started using Facebook a little bit more recently because of the Virtual Fiber Festival. They do their shows through Facebook Live. But honestly, it took a long time before I even really made any sales on Etsy. So I've been on there for years with little different things prior to my laser cutter, but I just wanted to get a feel for it. So like if you're someone who's trying to sell on Etsy, don't get discouraged. Sometimes it's just like some like random thing that gets you a little bit of notice, and that might get you going a little. I wouldn't say my shop is like super popular, but it definitely has more sales than before, you know.
Yeah, well, you've been appearing and you have been really putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And and I mean, that is a question, because I did see one of your fiber wool presentations and I loved it. And I went immediately to your shop and bought things. And so did you see a lot of traffic right after those presentations?
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do, like, before I was working like a beyond full-time job in the theme park industry, and I honestly just didn't really have time to devote to it. And oh, I see a
Hi,
Meredith.
Hi, Haley. Hi, yarn
I
over.
was actually going to talk about them on today's show as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really have a lot of time I'm a very, like, it doesn't seem like it, but I'm actually a very shy person. I was just talking about how much like social anxiety I actually have right before this started. But I started like promoting myself more on Instagram, using my graphic design background to create more graphics for that, and trying to up my photography game. And because I have so much downtime now, I'm trying to be a little bit more active on social media, and that really helps.
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard to manage different platforms? Because you've got to do it all simultaneously. It's not like you can just do one and then the next week do another. How hard is that to juggle?
It's actually not that difficult if you plan ahead. Like, I actually recently just started doing ads for the square posts on Instagram as an addition, and the stories as well, which is in a more like landscape, or no, more portrait format. And then you can use the same graphic, and Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same company, and I believe so.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So they're very compatible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you do you create separate posts for Facebook and Instagram, even if you use the same graphic, right?
Yes,
Because you can set Instagram so that it automatically shares to Facebook, but people have said that's not the best thing to do.
Yeah, I know you can do that. I opt not to because it looks a little different. And plus, when you're tagging on Instagram, it's going to show up differently on Facebook. So I'll often edit my posts and to make it more specifically Facebook friendly. And let's say you can't post links into Instagram, but you can post links into Facebook. So you have to remember like these little details. But for the most part, they're pretty interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
How have you found? Because another question that we kind of was chatting about was and Julie mentioned it, the fiber festivals on the online. What's that like to work?
Those are actually really fascinating. The first one that really came out was was Fiber World. And I think that happened around like June or July. It came out really, really quickly.
August.
Oh, was it August? Yeah, it was I remember it was in the summer, and I've been attending a bunch of them, like Vogue Knitting Live, the Stitches Expo at Home kind of shows, and like the Virtual Fiber Festival, Rhinebeck West. I've been both participating as a buyer and doing research, and as a seller for a few of them, and it's really great to see the different platforms and what people are offering. And it's not just about the show itself, the like technology involved, but it's also about the individual vendors, because a lot of them are using like third party sites to stream their live presentations. Sometimes it's like if you're on Zoom, you can interact with the sellers more, or if you're on Facebook Live, you can interact via commenting.
Oh, so if you're doing virtual, the audience is accessing it through Facebook Live.
Yes.
But you can, well, but because you could use StreamYard,
Mhm.
Can stream to Facebook Live, I think. So this would be a
Yes.
third-party platform you could use.
Exactly.
And then, and we see Meredith says here, you can schedule posts on both platforms so you can plan ahead.
Yep.
And actually, and there, I mean, I came across earlier this year an app that's a scheduling app for like Instagram and stuff. And they have a period where it's free. And I did use it a little bit, but I don't know why I'm being so cheap. I mean,
We've all got to save money these days, girl.
I'm trying to point to that. Okay, so I'm trying to point to the StreamYard logo. The reason we have
I don't know. Where is it? No.
If you do this, you're
way.
safe.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's here, I think.
Yes,
good. Yes,
over your head, Jen.
there. The StreamYard logo.
Yeah.
There. The StreamYard logo.
Yeah.
Because I'm using the free StreamYard.
Right.
God. But that's that scheduling app for Instagram. And we've got Judy and I are struggling with the whole technology thing anyway. But I mean, we've been doing promo on Instagram and not so much on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, but we haven't been putting much there.
It took me a long time to start doing that, and I know about like scheduling programs, but I'll be honest, I'm really awful about it. I am a morning person, so every day I'm typically up by 5 in the morning. So I'm like, well, if I'm up at 5 and I'm not getting out of bed, I might as well like post like at 5 in the morning because that's basically my version of scheduling.
Yep.
Oh, Jen,
I know it's not my choice. Trust me.
Okay, Meredy, we should just send Meredy the link and have her come in. Oh,
yeah.
Actually, Meredy, we want to have you as a guest on sometime. So I'll talk to you about that later today. Yeah.
But shall we send her a link and let her join in now and chat? Do you think?
Yes, I'm going to. So talk amongst yourselves again because
all right.
I've got to.
You know what you touched on it a little bit, Jen, about, social anxiety. And I remember watching you, I guess was it your first live on Facebook? And knowing you were a little nervous.
Oh yeah. My heart was like pounding through my chest, like right before that started, even throughout, to be honest. And people were like, "Oh, we couldn't really tell." I'm like, "Trust me, like, yeah."
Now, have you been finding it like getting easier? Is it more comfortable for you?
It gets like slightly more comfortable each time, and I think a lot of it is, like I said, I'm a very private person, so exposing myself a little to the world, like little by little, it's hard, but it's something I'm actively trying to do. And definitely Zoom calls help, like our virtual knitting groups with our group that we know each other from, the Nerdy Knitters, and we meet like several times a week. And so it's not like I'm not used to talking in front of the camera to people, but those are also people I've known for a very long time, and also those that I've met through this. But that usually gets me like going and more relaxed a little.
Who is Yarn Habits? They just are saying hey.
Hi. I think I think Yarn Habits just added me earlier, and I added them. And yeah, that's awesome. Here she said that they checked out the last video as well. So thank you so much.
That's yay. Okay, Yarn Habits, I'm going looking for you.
Yeah, welcome to everybody who's watching. But we are live right now. So yes, you can ask Jen questions and chime in and all those good things.
There you go. Hi, Iris.
Yes.
Iris. Okay, and Janice Ogata is here.
Yay! Hi, Janice.
Oh, hey, Jen. Oh, it's her birthday week.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. Happy birthday, Janice.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Aw, thank you so much, Iris. She just said she ordered some earrings. Aw,
yep.
Thank you.
Oh, so you know what else? I was telling Judy about I can't talk and do something at the same time. I was telling Judy about the Yarn Over Truck gift exchange, which is sorry folks, it's too late to sign up for it now. Here's Meredith.
I didn't mean to like jump into your call, guys. That wasn't my intention.
It's okay. It's really casual today, and we actually didn't really have much of an outline or a plan. So, yeah. And I was planning to see you later anyway. But,
absolutely, we're going to be on 4:00. So
yeah,
the joy of virtual stitch groups.
Yes, yes. When we get done with this, I have to run outside really quickly and take my trash cans down to the street and come back in.
Well, between this and our 4:00, I have to run to IKEA and get a new comforter that is I'm driving to go pick up. So it's the joy of virtual shopping at its best.
Yes, and I've got to run and get medication for my one for a cat, one for a dog. So I'm going to be jetting out to get that stuff for them after our call. But
but
yeah,
I was what? I'm sorry.
Mary was actually going to be one of the people I was going to talk about, like during this, since we're talking about like online shopping experiences and what people have had to do to adapt, and like Meredith's done from the Yarn Over Truck. And for those of you who don't know, the Yarn Over Truck is a mobile yarn truck, and it's a yarn boutique, and basically what was a food truck, and
it wasn't
Meredith can tell you about that.
Meredith.
She was a little Debbie delivery truck.
Oh, I thought it was a bookmobile.
No, I mean, the idea behind how it works is similar to the bookmobile in that you walk on the truck, but the truck's name is Debbie because she was a little Debbie delivery truck. So little Debbie snack cakes were filling her before yarn was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meredith's definitely an example I use all the time when it comes to like a good example of how to sell online and staying active with social media, running virtual stitch groups to keep the community connected, and not just for like selling purposes, but really it's been such a really wonderful experience too.
There we go.
A lot of knitters, we thrive on being social and having our knitting circles and groups. And when we lost that physically, we're able to adapt and go online, and it's helped me stay more connected to the fiber community more than ever because of my work hours prior. I could never go to those groups,
Well, and I couldn't have those groups.
Yeah.
Like we were too small to have a stitch group. So now I've got 2 a week. So even when we do go back to normal, I'm going to at least try to keep one of them going because this has been so much fun and enabled, like you said, a pretty vibrant community. And the intention wasn't for sales, but y'all are my best customers, hands down, because you get to see everything first.
I know that Julie has mentioned this before about the virtual platform, is amazing, not just because, you maybe have in the past had a crazy work schedule. And if a meeting starts at 7:00 in Pasadena and you're down in downtown LA or whatever, you can't physically get there. But now, and like you said, Meredith, about, your truck holds a few people at a time comfortably. You're not going to be able to host lots of people, but virtually you can. So this has been a good perhaps thing for some people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And there's been times when I didn't want to drive all the way across the valley, just to go to Burbank to go to our group. And I'm just reading Yarn Habits comments.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I completely
agree.
And
I think too, people are getting more comfortable with this virtual Zoom. I mean, like when we started, I had to teach everybody how to use it. It was not something everybody was super comfortable with, but now it's so become a part of our lives that I think it'll be easy to keep going with it, or the Google Hangouts or Facebook Lives. I mean, all these things. There's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah. I mean, and Judy and I have been getting together with my neighbor and some other friends for drinks for years. And that was Well, I think we were highly motivated. That was one of the first things that we just went virtual with.
I love that.
But you know, Meredy, the gift exchange that you hosted, there were 78 people.
I know. I'm shocked by this, and truly, it came up like I'm part of a bunch of different yarn and knitting communities because I'm always trying to see what's happening and what's going on. And I saw another group. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna do a gift swap," and I was like, "Huh, that's a cool idea." So I clicked on theirs and saw what the site was, and I was like, "We could do it too." I mean, it was so like last minute. Truly, the email went out on a Saturday. I decided to do it Friday afternoon. So it was so, and it's been so much fun. And, let's be honest, a lot of people are buying their yarn from me. So it actually has worked out well. I mean, not that that was the intention, but I just figured it would be another good community thing to do.
Yeah.
I envy whoever got Jen as
my package went out yesterday, and I hope you enjoy it.
And I was telling Judy earlier that my my gift exchange partner, she lives in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah.
And she had a wish list, and I picked something off her wish list and had the seller send it to her.
Yep.
I think these things are this kind of connection with people who are either not local or who can't come because of what would have been work scheduling, or maybe have disabilities. Like it's probably hard for somebody in a wheelchair to come into your truck, right?
It's virtually impossible. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Not virtually.
Yes. Now it's virtually possible, like I've done. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's so I think this was perhaps a benefit that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a little unwrapping party, and I'm hoping everybody comes. We're gonna do a little toast. I've got some games we're gonna play, and then we'll unwrap presents. So, I mean, again, another chance to connect.
Yeah,
a lot of people who are in our virtual stitch group are home alone, and and I think this has really helped a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I know it's helped us. Boy, this would have been really really tough without even having this connection. And Judy, and in fact Judy and I have just sat and worked together at times.
Oh yeah.
On Zoom, doing, and we just not even just like as if we were sitting together. And so it's not always gab the whole time. And sometimes it's like, oh, I've got to go, I'm going to leave the room for a minute and come back. And we're each in our own studio
and doing our own work, whatever it is and it doesn't have to be knitting. Yesterday, Julie and I were on a Zoom with a friend of mine from New Jersey that I've been friends with for, 25 years. And I was filling out holiday cards, licking envelopes while we're chatting. And, you can do those things.
And keep each other company.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And it's really good especially for some of us older folks who aren't really working,
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it allows people like to think like alone doesn't mean you have to be lonely,
Right.
And just so many of us are like spending time like who live alone, and it's really difficult. And it's like for me, my dog has been basically my my little rock, and so is my husband too, but my dog is more important at the moment. But it's been really
we know where your priorities lie.
Yeah.
He knows where my priorities lie. So
my dog has never been happier, because when I was still working the last few years, because of his proclivities, he has to go in a kennel, and he has this nice big kennel on the back patio, but he needs to stay in there when I'm gone. And there were times I'd be gone for a long time, and he had to stay in there. Now he's like he's on a couch in the other room.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my girl is right down here on her bed right next to me. Oh, yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
wanted to bring up something that Irish from Yarn Habits said. She's like, being on social media is great, but sometimes exhausting. I overthink about how much I share or am on social media way too much to be interactive. And I feel the same way. Like sometimes, like I mentioned several times already, I'm generally a very private person. Like, and I tend to stay really quiet. I love talking to people, but I don't know, it's kind of this weird dichotomy, but yes, social media can be exhausting, like, because you feel like there's this pressure to constantly create content and share everything that you do. And especially with Facebook, you know, like pre-election, I had to just shut things off for a while. You know, I had to just fully delete it because it was creating a lot more anxiety. And when we're already having so much depression and anxiety already, I think that people need to talk more about that, because while there are so many benefits of being able to connect online, like we are all still experiencing anxiety and depression, and I think we really need to destigmatize that, you know, and make it people understand that even though like maybe I may seem like happy and I love my bright neon colors, like there's a lot of stuff going on back here, you know, and it can be rough, and having people to share that with has been really helpful.
Yeah. And I mean, that's there's this podcast that I've been listening to for the past year, and it's a murder podcast, but it has turned out as a side bit just because of the two hosts, and it's called My Favorite Murder with Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark. And it was very, you know, it started out, it was always very conversational, and so they began talking about their own personal issues, and having anxiety disorder, and having substance abuse in the past, and going to therapy. And they just kept this conversation going. This whole community has formed where with people just being able to talk about just what their life is, and just being, and not feeling like they have to hide things like, well, I have anxiety and I go to a therapist and I'm on medication, or I have another behavioral health condition that I am always, you know, dealing with, working on, managing. And the conversation has just opened up. I think that is also one of the other things that has just happened in 2020. As we were talking, the three of us, before we went live, that what things that would have on social media would have been, oh my God, that's so, or on a virtual web call or something like that, something that would have been so mortifyingly unprofessional. Now it's just kind of like, I think that's God, that happened to me. That has happened to you're here with clothes on, and you're not engaged in a lewd act. You're fine.
You keep bringing that up.
I know, because it's just the perfect example. But 2020 has gotten us all to really just drop a lot of our judgments.
Yeah,
and let
people too about like social media exhaustion and feeling like you have to perform all the time and like make it seem like everything's perfect. I think there has been definitely a step back from that, like you were saying, and there's been a weird, like, the phenomenon of celebrating the mundane, you know, and appreciating that. It's like, hey, we all make mistakes. It's like this is why people love seeing the Pinterest fails, because it's not like they like to see other people fail. It's that they want to understand that, hey, other people make mistakes too, and like
I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Jenny had mentioned my photography.
It's the human element.
I'm not so weird.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the what we've been another thing we've been talking about with Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, it's still all relatively new, and we're all needing to learn how to manage it, how to manage our interaction with it.
Mhm.
Like with Facebook, you know, one of the lessons that I know a lot of other people have learned is, well, on some things it's like, don't read the comments, depending on what it is. If it's the mayor's briefing live on, do not read the comments.
Don't
Yeah,
do that to
no
yourself.
question. Yeah, absolutely.
And also, it's like, you don't have to jump in, you know, just don't jump in, just scroll past it.
Mhm.
And all these other little things we need to learn to manage so that it doesn't exhaust us and we can get the things that benefit us from it. We, you know, like cherry picking. It's like going to the mall. We're not going to run into every single store and stop and have a conversation with every salesperson.
Mhm.
Right.
We have to cherry pick.
Oh yeah,
Well,
this is why I love Instagram, because you can very much cater your feed. And
Yeah.
so like my Instagram feed is basically just knitting and like dogs. That's
Yeah.
all. And
So
so,
is mine.
that makes me
Just no
happy.
dogs.
That brings me joy.
Yeah, but you can do that on Facebook too. I mean, the reality is that I think people respond when you're genuine, and genuinely, you don't live a perfect life.
Yes.
And you know, and genuinely, you're probably not going to want to be out there every single day. So if you miss a day or two, or like, I mean, we try to post twice a day. Some days it doesn't happen, you know, and that's okay. You know, I mean, you know. There have been times when I was like, I'm taking a week off and I'm just not going to do anything. And, you know, you guys will still be around. It might not be quite as high in the placement, but you know what? That's better for me.
Yep.
And that's what you have to do to maintain your sanity. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, tying in this whole conversation about like virtual, like the new virtual shopping experience and kind of like celebrating the mundane, but so a selling strategy that I really love seeing, especially for the newer virtual fiber festivals, is that people aren't doing the, like they were talking about, like the QVC kind of style, like here's this, buy this, here's that, buy that, but they're doing just like setting up their home camera in their kitchen. And I love watching dyers just having a casual conversation with people. They've got a camera overhead, you know, it's not a professional setup. They've just got their dye pans and you see them. It's like, oh, well, okay, you know, I think that's going to work with that. And you could see the spontaneity of how they work and seeing the process. And I think people love to see the kind of behind the scenes aspect of things.
Absolutely. I think that
Behind the
that's
scenes is huge.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, because we can all relate. And, you know, there was one woman that her husband was, and you knew it was an iPhone because of the aspect ratio at Fiberwall, the one I attended.
Mm-hmm.
And so her husband is rocking the iPhone and she's going around the shop showing the different things, and it's not polished, and it's just a person just like me if I was showing people around my studio. And her shop was great. I would never have gone there. It's like in Kentucky or something, and I was like, I want to go on a road trip. I want to go see her place.
I have to say, hands down, my favorite thing about these virtual fiber festivals is seeing like the morning alpaca farms. You know, when they're feeding the alpaca in the morning, they're giving us the farm tours. Like I can smell those sheep and alpaca. It's so amazing. When this past week, I was attending the virtual fiber festival, the Doorbuster one, which is 5 a.m. Eastern time and 2 a.m. our time. My husband woke up way too early. And I swear, when I woke up, I was sleep shopping. I thought I was dreaming because there was a llama in a Santa outfit. And I just woke up, I'm like, is that even real?
That's awesome.
It was so fun.
Were you really sleep shopping?
Yes.
Well, based on that photo you posted yesterday of your stuff from Knitpicks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'm going into the Instagram. I'm diving.
It was actually in my stories. And so that actually had a lot of fun responses because I did an unboxing for the first time of my like mega Knitpicks order, and I wait all year and I save all year for this specific one just because like I just but it was fun. And then I opened the box and I was like, what have I done? It was
Oh, good, Jen.
It was
This is on
58
your stories.
skeins of yarn.
Yep.
And
It was how many?
58 skeins of yarn. And then my husband he also follows me
Whoa.
on Instagram, and he responded with the actual F. And so I thought that was pretty funny. So I posted that response, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, I can relate to that. My husband's gonna kill me for my order. He doesn't know it's still in the car." You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah, the thing that I have to constantly remember is my husband is friends with me on Facebook. He doesn't follow me on Instagram, but on Facebook, I have 3 pages. You know, I've got my personal feed, my Julie Kornblum studio, and then we've got a Knitting Around LA. And on Instagram, it's only Julie Kornblum studio. So I don't post a lot of personal stuff. So I'm like, I have to monitor myself all the time. I can't post anything that I wouldn't want my husband to see.
Well, and my husband sees and comments on everything. And I used to have somebody else do a lot of my posting for me because it was too much to do both. And he'd be like, and he'd make a comment on a photo that I didn't post. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. He's like, it's on your feed. I was like, yes. And somebody else is posting it, remember?
Yes. I'm a business, remember?
Yeah.
So the funny thing about like the unboxing was he was like, "What the hell?" basically. And I'm like, you know this, because my yarn sits in mail jail for a week, and I'm like, this thing has been in the living room for like a week now. It's this massive box. Like, there's no way you could have missed it.
And
like,
it says
we don't live in a mansion, you know? And he's like, okay, yeah, but seeing the box and then actually seeing the contents of it are 2 different things.
Yeah.
All right, Jen, you're getting people asking for you to repost it, so you might have to repost the unboxing and the image.
I'll probably post it to my regular post then. So you can see.
Oh
It was
my gosh.
really absurd.
It was pretty good. I saw it. I
Yeah,
liked
it was pretty fun. No
I had
question.
to immediately make some hats.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah,
Those
tell
are
us
so
about
great.
that.
Oops, there you go.
Tell us. Tell
And
us.
I'm like, okay, to justify this order, I've got to start knitting through this.
No, tell them and tell us about them.
Nice.
I love to knit hats. Tell me about them. And they're Fair Isle.
Yes, the really, really basic Fair Isle. This is in the Brava bulky from Knit Picks. And yeah, I got these for $1 when they had their $1, $3, $5 sale. So that was really the only reason why I wait all year for their mega sale. But otherwise, I'm buying from like indie shops and indie dyers. Definitely do support them. Yeah, this pattern is called Winter's Coming. And yeah, it's very simple, you know, and it knits up really quickly because it's the bulky, and the Brava is so soft and squishy, especially for an acrylic. And yeah, and I had this pink little ball lying around because of course I did. Yeah.
Well, now tell me where in LA you're going to be wearing that.
I'm not.
Jen donates a lot of what she makes.
Yeah, I'll probably be going to Knit the Rainbow in New York, and they donate like hats and other kind of homemade items to homeless LGBTQ youth in New York City. They need it more than we do out here in like 90-degree weather.
Yeah. Oh, look at that kitty! Oh my goodness.
This would be Violet, and this is Violet's favorite place to be is on me.
A shoulder cap.
Yes, she is definitely a shoulder cat.
Oh, Meredith, I have a question for you.
Fire away.
Because I went through your website and, you know, just kind of accidentally created a wish list.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just send the link of it to my children, or would they have to create an account and log in?
I don't know that answer. I can see your wish list. I don't know if others can see it. I will call my company and find out that answer, because I would assume that you should be able to send a wish list to other people.
Yeah.
So I will find that out and let you know.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Well, because I think that what I need to just do is send them my password along with the wish list link, just to make sure they can get in. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, because
you can probably send them the links too, like directly from.
You can.
Yeah, that's right.
Cut paste each item link, but that's a lot more tedious. But we're now using the wish list for people who have road crew points. So we have a loyalty program, and when you shop with us and you earn road crew points, the two systems don't yet talk to each other, so I can't let you use your points to pay for a purchase in the online shop. But if you fill your wish list and then send me a note, I can see it and then do what I have to do outside to be able to complete the sale. And that's been really, really helpful.
Yeah,
okay.
Mary, I just got your package yesterday and I'm like just counting the days. I've got two from you actually. One from the Super Nerdy Yarn Club and also a few days after that. From the sale you just had, which was pretty epic.
Well, I was needing to move some yarn. I mean, trust me, there's still a lot of it left. So the next sale, it will be a little bit more marked down. That's kind of how I work it. But because I'm so sorry, Violet is now rubbing her head against the laptop. So she's kind of moving my camera. Okay, babe, here, you gotta get down.
See, this is what we just spoke about before, about the things that happen in Zooms and meetings now. It's, you see a lot of cat butts.
And you just got to be okay with it. No, but what I do for the clearance sale is because I'm so tiny.
A lot of snoring.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jen
Rose.
Oh, I think we're losing.
So what I was saying about the clearance sale, though, that helps me clean out the truck. I mean, and because the truck is so small, I like to kind of move the inventory and bring some new and different things in. Mm-hmm. And we had a dyer that their company got sold, and I'm not connecting as well with the new owners as I did the old ones. So I figured, okay, that's my signal to bring something else in. So I want to move that first. So A, I've got the room, and B, I've got a little cash. And then, I'm kind of looking at who I'm going to bring in for next year. So, yeah. And I had a lovely conversation with my friend who dyes the ass yarns.
Oh, yeah.
Bring in some DK weight.
And people love that. They love learning about new dyers.
Yeah, those are nice yarns.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm very excited about the DK. So that's
nice.
fun.
Yeah. And DK is great. I mean, for those of us that have a plethora of fingering, looking to get something. I'm speaking for myself because I have an obsession with fingering, and I'm looking to get, something a little heavier.
Yeah,
and that's
it's interesting though. For me, we sell overwhelmingly more fingering weight because of being in Southern California, because it's harder to wear the heavier weights.
Yeah,
but I want to be able to give everybody some options.
Yeah, well, what I put fingering, everything that I put on my wish list was fingering, because most of those skeins are over 400 yards, and I now have realized I can wear shawls all winter. Mm-hmm. Plus, I just sent off 2 shawls in my boxes to some very special loved ones who I don't know if they even watch this, but I'm totally giving away secrets. And so, it's like, I think I have people, like, if I just make too many shawls, I think I have people I can give them to.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But is Debbie, are you driving Debbie at all these days, Mary?
I feel like this has been the year of UK, and I think
I'm driving Debbie to and from my house.
Oh, okay.
About a mile away. I park her about a mile away in a gated area, and I drive her to the house. When I do some of the virtual stuff, it's easier to be closer to my house because there's a bathroom here. There's not a bathroom where I park her, and I need to go get her what do you call it with your driver's license?
The registration.
Yeah, but I have to go have it tested. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, smog check.
Thank you, smog check. So I need to go drive her for a good hour before I get a smog check.
Yeah.
Because she's so old that she won't clear unless she's nice and warm.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I'm probably going to try to do that the next week or two. And then, once, I would say once we hit like the middle of December, I'm probably going to shut everything down, because I've read from multiple sources that if you haven't shipped by the 15th of December, it's really risky that your items are going to get there by Christmas. So no matter what you're doing, no matter what service, they're all kind of saying that's the minimum deadline. Yeah. So I think I'm going to shut down and do my inventory and kind of clean her up, and hopefully, we'll get vaccinated relatively quickly and we can try to be open again next year. But it's just kind of a crapshoot for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Another
Well,
way I've noticed sellers adapt, especially yarn shops, is like in addition to like things like the virtual shopping, like Merity actually offers virtual shopping appointments. So if you've never seen the truck, or you've seen the truck and you'd like to visit, or when you look at a website it's not easy to see the pairing, Merity will actually do that for you from the truck, which is really wonderful. She's got a separate camera set up, so she's got really clear pictures, and you're like, oh, I'm not sure about this one. She's a superstar at learning how to pair a perfect yarn.
Oh,
like, trust
you're
me,
very sweet.
she's amazing. But other things I've seen other people do are like, I've seen a lot of dyers do like kind of advent calendars, and I know like people like Chemnitz, so they do a Chemnitz Hanukkah, and so it's fun to have that kind of like that winter surprise where you're doing a little daily opening of a little mini skeins, and people are also doing like subscriptions. Like Merity actually hosts like the Forbidden Fiber like super nerdy yarn club. I think she does a couple a year, and I've noticed a lot of other sellers do that too. And not just for like the December holidays, but also like for birthdays, your anniversary, you do a countdown for that. And I think it's been a fun, inventive way for sellers to really do something. And it's a great surprise for the recipient as well.
Well,
it's fun.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I've really, really, really have always wanted to participate in one of those Advent things. But for me, I'm a weird kind of brain here. It's like, I'd like to know what it is before I get into it, what I'm going to make with this. And most of these places, they don't tell you,
No, it's mystery. Yeah, I'm with you.
So
I'm not a fan of mysteries.
I'm not either. I am not either. But I love getting little packages in the mail. So, if I'm just putting it out there to the universe, I mean, maybe there's a way to create some sort of
I saw one advertised on Facebook or Instagram, and I don't know who it was. And it was an advent calendar where you got to pick the 25 items that were going to be in your advent calendar, but I can't remember now. If I come across it again, Judy, I'll have to send it to you.
Well, and the thing with most of those advent calendars is that you're usually buying them in like July.
Yeah.
They've got to put all that stuff together. So you've really got to be looking like that June, July, August time frame to sign up for them, because they've got to buy all the materials and make everything. Yeah. And I think part of it is the opening up a secret thing every day. That's what I think leads to the mystery knit along.
Yeah, that was really fun for me last year.
Iris.
So yeah, Judy, there were actually a bunch of like mini skein patterns. You can look that up. Like, you can look up on Pinterest or Ravelry. You can also use the
word Advent. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah,
that was
look up the word.
That was the
Advent.
other thing. Yeah, that was the thing I was going to suggest too. Is that if you want to just get some fun new colors, like she said, there's a ton of ways to be able to, there's lots of other patterns you could use if you don't want to do that mystery pattern.
But, I never thought about that. So, this is great. But I would also like to see that call it mystery, Advent, whatever you want to call it. I'd like to see it happen at other times of the year.
Yeah.
Like, I would it not happen just once in December.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have like a summer mystery.
They are. People are starting to do it.
They do that.
Yeah. What was it? There was the people were doing this year. People were doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that Leanne at Forbidden Fiber Company did like a Halloween one. So there are definitely other times.
So Judy, when I see those, I'll send them to you.
I wish that there was a way that they could publicize that. Like, I'd like to find like a source and have these things listed rather than.
Wouldn't that be great? All like that.
Yeah, 100 Ravens actually does something like that.
100 Ravens does. Her yarn is really nice.
Well, there used to be a Facebook a Ravelry group that was like different yarn clubs. So I don't know if maybe that's still got some. It's been a while since I've poked around there, but that was for a while to like see, because there's so many advent calendars. There's so many yarn clubs. There's so much to choose from. They were kind of trying to put together a running list, but that I just think it's a little bit overwhelming.
And it's the Ravelry forums. It's hard to keep that stuff up.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and it isn't like you have to read pages and pages and pages to get the answers, and that's a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to go in there looking for it, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, we Judy and I
think,
have.
Judy, since you're mentioning,
No, go ahead, Jen.
Judy, since you're mentioning looking for.
Here's our technology
Oh, sorry.
problem.
I think I'm getting some like internet issues here, so I might be a little behind. But if you can hear me, I think yeah. So Judy, Meredy actually has a page on her Ravelry group for Yarn Over Truck that actually has a bunch of mini skein patterns, which is really wonderful. You know?
Oh,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, actually look at so we're, search for Yarn Over Truck like you would search for a friend.
Mhm.
And then in our favorites, I have created a whole bunch of pattern bundles. I've got a mini skein bundle. I've got a sock pattern bundle. I've got a 2 skein knit project, 2 skein crochet project,
Wow.
single skein projects. I put a whole bunch of bundles together because there's thousands of patterns. It's hard to kind of muddle your way through that. And like if you follow the truck, we share 2 skein patterns every week. So all of those I save into that bundle so that you can go find them in one spot.
So, Meredy, where do I follow? Follow you on Instagram? Follow you on Facebook? I don't do Facebook.
Yes.
So
Okay,
Where-
yes,
where do
Instagram or Facebook. We do both. And then I also have, like I said, I've got those pattern bundles on Ravelry. But
Oh.
Yarn Over Truck everywhere. So we also send a weekly newsletter, and I usually link to everything there as well. So every Wednesday we send a newsletter. We highlight one of our yarns.
Oh,
We
sorry,
do
Jen.
a swatch photo of a knit swatch, a crochet, and a crochet granny square. And then we'll give you 2 pattern recommendations, 1 knit and 1 crochet every week.
wow, fantastic.
And then we share those on social media the following week. So there's lots of ways to see it.
You know, something else I'd like to see is to not call these things advent calendars.
No, I totally agree.
Oh
And
yeah,
there's
Call
there's
it
lots
a-
of subjects. Yeah.
Call
I
it a
call the
countdown.
Advent ones. When I call like the Hanukkah ones from ChemKnits, I call that ChemKnits Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And there are it's like I call them countdowns, except
Yeah,
for the ones that are
I mean, because
specifically
it could
called
be
Advents.
it could be a countdown calendar
Yes.
to Mother's Day.
Yes.
Yep.
And you buy
You're not
that for
alone, yeah.
somebody and
Yeah.
they get to open it for 10 or 11 days or
Yeah.
whatever.
It could be countdown to spring.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Countdown to a person's birthday. I mean,
Yeah, that's exactly what 100 Ravens is doing, which I really love. I watched their presentation the other day, and this is exactly what they mentioned, and I think it's such a wonderful idea.
it is.
you
It
know?
is because
Mhm.
there's that whole association with something that is not my practice.
Yep, I
Right,
completely agree.
exactly.
Yep.
And that's not fair. And that's
Yeah.
kind of why I stayed away from them, because I had
Yeah.
several of my dyers be like, hey, you could do that. And I'm like, that it just doesn't feel comfortable for me because
Yeah.
I've got such a wide audience. I didn't feel comfortable doing that.
Mhm.
And I'm not super religious myself, so that always makes me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and I mean, I had to we sent off our gifts today to our kids.
Yep.
And I mean, normally they're not always home because we celebrate Hanukkah and it
Right.
starts the 10th.
Yeah.
So
It's really coming up quick. Absolutely.
it is. Yeah. So,
I do have to say,
Yeah.
I've been watching. I love watching like the unraveling, the opening videos that people have been doing, and Sprinkled Fibers has one too, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love their yarn. It's so like wonderfully like dreamlandy sherbet neon, and it's just really fun.
I'm shocked that that's what you like.
yeah.
we would never have guessed. Who would have
Never,
known?
ever.
No.
I like to keep a little mystery in my life.
Well, you know, one of the things that I accidentally put on my wish list was a unicorn poop,
Yes.
you know, yarn, Meredy. It just happened.
So popular.
Oh, bet it is.
Oh man. Well, you guys, thank you for letting me jump in. I'm gonna bounce because I gotta go run and grab that piece before my
Okay.
before my thing at
Well,
4. But if you guys, I'd love to do this again if you guys are game. So just
Oh,
let me
yeah,
know
yeah,
so
we-
can talk about it.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. We'll schedule,
Awesome.
you know,
Yeah.
this is our time slot, and have you show us around the truck.
That'd
Yeah.
be great. I'd love
Check
to.
it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily be in the truck and I can show off. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so
I
yeah,
say.
we'll talk more later. Okay, see you
Bye,
later.
Nerdy.
Perfect. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
That was super fun and unexpected. I
It
love
was.
Yeah.
See, we said it was going to be a conversation. So she joined the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it
This
was
is part of
perfect.
the adaptability of all this, you know,
Yes.
and I just love it.
Yeah.
I love talking to Meredy on her virtual stitch
Yeah.
groups.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, very fun, very fun.
And
Like I said, I'm going to see her later. Now I have my knitting ready. I can't knit while I'm, operating the windows and everything, but I'm definitely going to sit in with and work on this thing.
Nice. What's that? What you
It
working
is.
on?
It's something I just started making up out of my own head, and there's plenty of fluff in my head for making something, and it's a top down. I can't really show it because it's like restricted by the needle right now.
Oh yeah.
But this was Jen. I got this the sari silk from the
Stash exchange.
Stash Exchange, and so
lovely.
I have proceeded to buy 4 more skeins of the sari silk so that I can actually.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that's another thing that we've
usual thing.
done online, which is really fun. Like the group that we're in usually does an in-person stash exchange, and being able to do that virtually this year it was very interesting finding a solution for that. And basically we just set up a Google form and people submitted photos of their items, and then we did like no contact, either pickups or drop-offs or mail to people. And yeah, so it was really interesting to see the virtual version of that.
It was, well, I mean, people have the I want to say resourcefulness of people, and Jacinda is excellent at that and set it up. But the holiday party's coming up.
Yep.
And we're gonna do it again. We're gonna figuring it out, inventing new ways once again. And we'll see how that goes. That's the nerdy knitters of the San Fernando Valley.
and they have a meeting this evening.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. The Yarn Over Truck meets Thursdays and Sundays, and the Nerdy Knitters meet Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. If anybody would like to join us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well.
Yeah, and if you're interested in selling online, I think my number one tip is up the photography game. For me, that has helped significantly. And Julie, that was something Julie asked me about on my last call here, and I kind of gave away my secret, which I tell everyone, because I think it's important when vendors support other vendors, especially like women supporting women. And so my photography setup is basically I couldn't afford like a whole backdrop. I haven't worked since March. I just bought like some contact paper on Amazon that had a wood grain on it, a light one, for about I think $6, and I slapped some on this banged up old TV tray table that I have, and I set my jewelry on there. I wait for natural light, and that's it. And it makes my items, I can take it from indoors, and I show people the outdoor version, and it's just night and day.
Well, we talked about doing a lot of things, free versions of a lot of things. I use a free version of Zoom, and I'm using the free version of a lot of things. One thing that you really want to invest in, and because as we've talked about in our group, I've been an exhibiting artist for years, and how you get selected for a lot of shows and other things, anything that you apply for is by photographs.
Yes.
And the one thing that you really want to invest in is learning how to take photographs.
Yes.
You can use natural light. You don't have to invest in lights right away. You don't have to invest in backdrops right away. But I would definitely invest in instruction. And I have just a regular Canon PowerShot camera. I don't have a DSLR or a no mirror or I don't have a $600, $800 camera. It's a $200 camera. It's what I've always used. And and it took a long time from the moment I started working on it till I really got good photos. It took me 4 years because it was a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
And I wasn't working on it constantly. I would be doing stuff. And then I would need to take photos and try some stuff out. I would take a workshop. I would take, and finally the person who was an artwork photographer here in the Valley, who was my photographer, I posted in frustration on Facebook, and he commented and said, I'll give you a lesson. And that was the capper. He completed the things that I needed to know. Mm-hmm. And it's camera settings is what it is. Learning how to set the exposure so that you can get, and then he showed me a few things in Photoshop Elements that's worth investing in. Mm-hmm. I haven't had any luck with the free online photo formatting apps. But Photoshop Elements is relatively inexpensive. It's not Photoshop, which I don't know, is like $1,000 or something. And just a few of the adjustments in a good photo editing program, and you get the professional quality photos, and that's what you need. But it doesn't have to be a super expensive investment, but that's where you should invest.
Well, the beauty of using natural light is you don't really have to end up doing too much photo adjusting. Like, as someone who's a graphic designer, I don't use Photoshop or Illustrator to touch up any of my photos anymore. Like, I was just remarking to my husband today, it's amazing how much you can do on a phone. Like, I don't even have to go anywhere near my computer when I take my item out, and then I photograph it, and then I edit it a little, and then I put it online on Etsy. No computer involved. It's really amazing what you can do, and you can crop and you can adjust lighting, and I do everything with just my phone these days.
You can take good photos with your phone, and mine is a 6S, but every one of the subsequent models has had better and better and better cameras. And I have actually done some photos with my phone that have gotten my work into shows, that have gotten my work juried into shows. So that's all. Say,
the reason why I invested in like a better phone with a better camera is because I just wanted to take better pictures of my dog, to be honest.
Oh,
and being able to take better product photography was just kind of a happy little accident.
All right, so that was a side benefit.
Yeah.
Speaking of products, are there things that you'd like to show our viewers?
Shall I show the pictures? Where are the pictures?
Sure. I've got some here too.
And aren't you wearing something else?
Yes, I actually made this the other day for the there you go. It's a little seat. It's a little knit stitch one that I just designed this past week. There you go.
They're beautiful.
And then again, this is Jen's. This is the promo plug for Jen's graphic design.
Oh, thank you. But you can see all my like product photography. It might not like be the best out there, but it was significantly better than the ones I was taking indoors. And I was telling Julie, like, I like to kind of set the atmosphere, if you will, a little by putting like the little skein in the corner.
Yeah, I was going to say those are really nice to have that in there.
Thanks.
See, my family room floor looks like this, so I guess I could just
put stuff on your floor.
I would have to clean it first because the dog tracks it so much dirt.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the benefits of living in Southern California.
I've got my hearts.
Oh
yeah, I got mine on too. I got my I Am Woman.
I love them.
I Am Woman. Oh, we watched the Ellen Reddy biopic last night. Judy, at the end, I was like doing my best to not just break out sobbing.
Oh wow.
No, it was just that her career ended and she came back for some rally in Washington, D.C. I don't even know what the rally was. And I just was like almost crying. Sitting there hearing all of her songs, because when I Am Woman came out, I think I was in junior high.
Means something more now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And here's some other things that I have been.
Let's see.
Oh, let me spotlight you.
Oops, upside down.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. I got to find. Oh, there it is. No,
Yeah.
hold them up again.
Let's see them again. Oh gosh.
Here's some ornaments I've been cutting too. Yeah, I've
Are
had
those,
a blast with my
custom-
laser cutter.
Are those custom for somebody? What's ESDK?
That's actually for the Eastside Drunken Knitters.
Oh.
These are ones I had around because I had a little boo-boo in the cut on the back. But yeah,
Hold it up again. Very cool.
Thank you.
Oh wow, those are great.
Thank you. They've been really fun to do. Oh, thank you, Iris.
Hey, I guess the nerdy knitters of the San Fernando Valley could use some of those. Or, maybe.
Hey, you know, there certain things like that could be a member gift, a pendant, or a set of earrings, or we'll have to find the right person to suggest that to.
Yeah. Oh,
I actually just sent some off for the silent auction that we're doing this weekend.
Oh wow.
Good.
Sounds
Okay. Well, girls, we're just past an hour, so this was so much fun, and hopefully, I mean, we'll hopefully have a guest lined up for next week. We're playing it really close to there's no deadlines, but we're playing it really close to all of our deadlines. And thanks for joining us, Jen.
You are always a delight, and we just adore you. And yeah, you're the best.
I miss you ladies so much. I can't wait for this to be over. And
I know, because I want to
that
drive.
pastrami.
Yes. We want to drive all over LA County with you again.
Yeah, see all the yarn shops again. That was lots of fun. And it will happen. It'll happen again.
Yeah. But so let's say goodbye to everybody else. Thanks for being, watching, being part of our conversation, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And
bye.
Please hit the like button for us and subscribe and turn on notifications.
All right.
So, you can join us again. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.